now, I'll probably break this up into 3 videos, but some of the stone artifacts that were associated with the bone artifacts. And they are rather primitive of nature, but they are they are interesting artifacts nonetheless. So I'm going to show you those in just one moment. Well, let's start here with this piece. This is a grinding stone. It has been used extensively on the edges, handheld, used in in that fashion. Grinding stones are fairly common finds on Native American sites in Michigan. I'm sure they are throughout the country, but that's a nice grinding stone, heavy. I'm not sure the type of stone it is, but it's tan colored, fairly heavy, and again you can see that it's been used quite heavily. A lot of these pieces are not what you would call well-defined artifacts in the sense that an arrowhead or a spear point is, but nonetheless they are worth preserving. This piece, for example, is a large hand chopper, handheld chopper, and you can see on the pointed end where it's been struck and formed a nice chopping point. Again, this would have been handheld, used in such a manner as this. Again, I'm not sure what kind of stone this is. It doesn't look it quite on the video, but this is really a very black stone and a very heavy stone. It would have been good for the purpose of chopping. Here we have a broken chopper and grinding stone, and it's been rounded to an edge there, and it's a very gritty type stone. Not sandstone, harder than sandstone, but a very gritty stone like sandstone is. And it, well, again, it has, it's been used heavily for grinding. Another interesting piece from here, or pieces, are these ball stones. And these are found a lot on Native American sites here in Michigan. And some people call them pot boilers, assuming that they were dropped into pots to bring water to a boil. And other people consider them to be gaming stones. They quite actually could be natural formations, so I doubt it because the form is almost too perfect on some of them to be natural formations. Let's see, as we go along here, here's another hand chopper, handheld chopping device. It's a black stone also, but it's a very lightweight black stone, not at all as heavy like this other one I showed you. It's been beveled here to an edge, and again would be handheld and used. And used for chopping. There are all manner of pieces in here. This is another grinding stone, made out of the same material as this rounded one, a very gritty material. You can see that it's been used extensively for grinding. I'm just going along and picking out pieces to show you. There are many different pieces here. Here's an ovate form, probably used as a celt or again handheld chopper or knife, although this one could have been, I can picture it having been put on a handle and used with a bone or wooden handle. And as we come over here, we find all manner of pieces. Again, this is a hand knife, or finger knife as some people call them. It's been beveled on the edge. The edge has been brought to a very sharp cutting bit. The same with this particular piece. And let's see, we got associated here. This one again, similar. The edge has been beveled down to a nice cutting edge. There's just all manner of unusual pieces here. And here's another form of knife. It's rather unusual. It looks almost like a fish, although I don't think that was what they were going for. But this circular place, it's very, very sharp. This would have undoubtedly been on a handle. Let's see. Piece of shale, or slate, excuse me. It's a piece of slate, black slate. Didn't see much of this material on that site. Black slate was used for a lot for ornamental materials to be made from, like a gorget or a pendant. I'm not saying that that is what this piece was being worked into, but it wouldn't surprise me. It shows signs of having been worked, but broken probably during the manufacturing process, if you will. I find a lot of these too on sites. It's a notched stone. I've been told that it was used that these kind of stones were used in basket making or preparing bowstrings, if you will, and was somehow used, but I can't ascertain exactly what it was used for, except that it was used, and I can picture it being used to, as an aid in weaving pieces. There's a great variety of pieces here, and a lot of them you definitely have to use your, you have to really think about them as to what they were used for. This one you can see where pieces were taken off from it. Very sharp edge here. It was probably used for cutting. I don't know if that's what it would have been originally been intended for. It could be, but they were removing pieces off from it. The pieces that they removed off from it would have been considered probably microblades, small blades. Another knife, a handheld knife. Again, the beveled, sharpened edge. This is an unusual little piece, very small piece of bone. As you can see, I'm trying to get a good place. You can see it has a notch in it. I showed you a piece of bone in part 1 that was notched like this too. Having a clue what it was used for, but this one though, actually, it's incomplete. It's broken off where on this side here. That could have very easily, and I believe would have been either a small pendant or a bead. More likely a bead than an actual pendant in and of itself. There were a lot of. This is another piece that you can see where stone has been removed by flaking. It comes to a very sharp edge. Used for cutting, no doubt. Let's see. Other small bone fragments. There was a mixture of cultural materials here. Well, primarily it was Indian artifacts. I found this pipe stem, which had been much later than these other pieces. It would have been during the trade era. This was much later, a small jade bead. A nice red, ruby red glass bead. That would have been from the trade era also. Very pretty little bead. And there were buttons and various odds and ends. A nice little decorative ornamental piece there. Another pipe stem. An old coin. Oh no, it's not a coin, it's a flat button. Flat button. But when I get into the pieces that are in this case and this case, during my next video, you'll see more defined pieces, but you'll see some pieces that are really intriguing because I've never seen them from a Michigan site before. You'll see, they're not called malls. My mind just went blank. But anyways, they're a huge anchor stone notched, some nice mortars, ulus, teeth, and different things. So within the next couple days, I will be bringing you that video and looking at those in more detail than I did these. I just wanted to casually go across here and show you these pieces. Here is another hammering, grinding stone. You can see how that surface was heavily used. At this site, one thing that was kind of strange is that when they originally laid the sidewalk past where the site is, they poured it right over the rock that was there on the ground. This, and as well as others, actually has cement adhering to it. It is an ancient artifact, but it has modern cement adhering to it. So that's what I want to show you this time. Thanks for taking a look with me. I look forward to going through these other things, other pieces, artifacts with you, because they are really some unique pieces in there that I'm anxious to share with you. Thanks for stopping by and having a look. God bless, and have a great evening.